They won't be able to hear you if you don't do that. Courtney, hello.
Hi, Nikki.
Is it snowing?
It is snowing and sleeting and all the things.
Fun. It's 70-something degrees here.
I'm very jealous. All right, I think we're ready to get started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Courtney Karachi, and I'm a member of the New England PWPIM. Can't even say that, PWIPM committee. On behalf of co-chairs Marlene Massetti and Kelly Altland, I would like to welcome you to our chapter's first event of 2023. We are so excited to have people attending from all over the country as well as international locations. Everyone has been muted, but please feel free to enter questions in the chat and we will make sure to leave some time at the end of the presentation for Mickey to address those questions. Today, I am honored to introduce my Executive Leadership Program classmate and dear friend, Mickey Thomas. Mickey is a Senior Vice President of Customer Care and Inside Sales for Arrow Exterminators based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Mickey has a variety of responsibilities and leads a team of 40 that directly manage more than 500 employees. Her passion for training and innovation have given her multiple opportunities to serve in her leadership roles in the company as of 2007. She has been honored with several awards as well. Outside of work, Mickey participates in many conferences as part of the National Pest Management Association and enjoys spending time with her husband and children, working in her yard, shopping, and watching her daughter compete in jiu-jitsu. With that, Mickey, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody. It's such an honor to be here with you all. Courtney, can everybody see my screen? Thumbs up. Yes, okay. All right. Well, just a little bit of my background. I'm with Arrow Exterminators. We are a family-owned and operated company since 1964. Arrow Exterminators is headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have over 169 service centers, and that's as of today. We are constantly evolving and growing. We service in 12 states and are currently the 6th largest pest control company in the United States. I have been with Arrow for 15 years, actually going on 16 years, and I have served in just about every role from a customer care all the way through to now where I serve on the executive team. So just a little bit of background with our culture. Here are some ways that we demonstrate at Arrow Exterminators. Clear conscience and our values. Our culture has values that every team member knows by heart. We place them all in each office on the walls. We have contests to help learn it. We celebrate success, and we just really like to have fun. We work hard and we play hard as well. Our culture is celebration. That's what makes us who we are, in a good environment for our team members to just know that they're part of a family. Something that we do very well that people always ask me is, why do we have so many service centers? And the reason why is we want to keep that small town feeling of a family environment in the communities that we serve. So that's very important to us. So I'm going to go ahead and just have a little bit about Arrow. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about some customer service that is my passion personally. I'm a big believer in that's your core of your business and where everything starts with your customers. So what to expect? We all have different experiences with customer service, and we all can relate to one another of what stands out and who has the best culture. Just think of some top companies that have really stood out to you. I have a couple in mind for me, and I'm going to start with my first one is Amazon. And let me just say, I was not a believer in Amazon until COVID hit. I'm the kind of person that likes to touch, feel, buy in a store, and try on things. Well, that was until Ulta shut their doors and I couldn't go in, and I'm at the window saying, please, I need my hairspray. So Amazon came to the rescue and I ordered my hairspray, and I'll tell you what, it was delivered the same day, which was a shock. Now, I will tell you, I've had a couple things that didn't work out, where something was delivered and it was broke, or clothes didn't fit. Well, I got to tell you, their customer service and the experience that their customers have are spot on. They had a replacement. I had a makeup delivered that was broke, and they replaced it within the next day. So Amazon, I'm a huge believer now, where I wasn't as big of a fan before COVID. Another one is Chick-fil-A. If you haven't experienced Chick-fil-A, I mean, they're known for their customer experience. They are top-notch customer service. And what makes them really good is their consistency. Every customer, every time. And I have yet to go through a drive-through or experience at Chick-fil-A anything less. It's always my pleasure. It's always consistent. And if it's not right, they make it right. So, and who would have known just selling chicken that they could be so good at customer service? So I'm going to share with you a video. Hopefully, I'm holding on that it's going to play here. This is one of my favorite Chick-fil-A videos.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what military base these people trained at, but I'm not mad at them. You got 4 people outside with handhelds, okay, under umbrellas. You got 2 people outside the drive-thru to greet you with your food. It be ready. I was in the line 3.5 seconds. That was to order, pay, and get my food. Baby, let me tell you what kind of training they doing. They is in the military in Chick-fil-A. I'm telling you, they have some training that they're doing, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. I don't understand why I go to Popeyes and I got to wait on hot chicken when all you sell is chicken. McDonald's don't ever have nothing working, and don't let me get started on Burger King. Okay? But Chick-fil-A be killing it. They have a military base that they train out of. I'm convinced. And I just appreciate the professionalism. It's hot as hell out here, but they smiling. Cheese, may I help you? Hello, Miss Carissa. How do you know me? Because I told the girl back there, and they communicate. Communication is the key. Fries hot. I didn't even check my bag. And if it's a mistake, then that's what I was supposed to have. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, but I feel I'm emotional right now, because in the day we live, people don't even like their jobs like that. But these people, they are on it. They got a scholarship fund. Go in right over your condiments. They say that they give these people a scholarship fund. Take care of your people. Take care of your people, and your people will take care of you. That's the lesson today. It comes through Chick-fil-A, but this is what's real out here in these streets. I'm about to eat with gratification. I didn't mind paying for that. I didn't even mind. Swipe my card. Swipe my card, Chick-fil-A. I got a tear. These fries is hot. Smoke coming out of them. Look at that. I'm satisfied. I don't even need no more. Oh my God. And every one of them like that. Not just one. You can't have it your way. You can have it your way. Thank you. I approve this message. Feliz Navidad.
So that's one of my favorite, it's a true perception of what Chick-fil-A's customer service is. And it's no matter what industry, and that's what's important, is when you're dealing with customers, you really got to be on point with your customer service and really put the customer's needs at the forefront, and really just hone into what drives your customer experience as well. Check in, listen to those phone calls. They're extremely important on how your team is portraying your customer experience. So I did a study and did some surveys within Arrow, and I sent out to our office managers top reasons for customer complaints. You know, in order to fix any problems, you have to be able to recognize where the complaints come from to make your experience a lot smoother with your customers. And just to share with you, one of the top complaints here at Arrow is billing. And a lot of it, we really honed in on the training on that, was just our team not being able to explain the billing process, when the bills are dropped, when their payments are posted, where they can pay for their service. We have a portal that is live where they can make payments, but just educating their customers. The biggest thing is payment is due at the time of service for us, and explaining that to our customers, and then also just reviewing and understanding how our billing is. Our second area that we really had to work on was no-show scheduling. That is probably the biggest complaint that I see in offices, is they're taking those calls, somebody didn't show up or they're running late. It's really important for our service professionals and our teams out in the field. If they're running behind for a customer, give them a courtesy call or a text, just letting them know that, hey, I'm running a little behind. I'll be there as soon as I can. Because once they call the office, they're not happy because their time wasn't valued. So we really put a focus on that with our team this year. Is look, you're empowered to take care of your own customers, and it's very important you let them know. And consumers and customers are more in tune and really are selfish with their time and value it. So they want everybody else to value it as well. And that's really important. Our third one was a callback availability. If somebody is having a problem and they're covered with the service now, that's like a hot potato to me. You want to really get them on the schedule as soon as possible. Reach out to the person in the field, your service professionals, and if they don't have any availability, we look at managers to maybe take care of that callback availability. But that's one of your current customers having a problem right now, and they don't want to wait a week. They want to get their service, and they want their home protected. So this portion was really important to treat it like it's a hot potato, because that's your current customer, and they are the ones that are sending referrals, and word of mouth is so important nowadays, and giving you those giving people those recommendations. So definitely, if they're taken care of in a timely manner, and they're going to value that, they're going to value your team as well. Reoccurring issues. Our system allows us to record and track every note. So if somebody's having an issue last month and this month they're calling in for the same issue, those are escalated. Those need to go to managers or training team, because there may be a breakdown, or there may be a training opportunity for a service professional in the field that maybe just needs some help and guidance on reoccurring. If you're waiting and they're having the same issue every month, and they're calling in every month and nobody's escalating that, then that's a real problem, because third or fourth time escalating, one thing consumers have is they have choices, and they have dang good opportunities with a lot of great pest control companies out there. So addressing those issues is really important in a timely manner, and making sure the right team has that information to help guide their training as well. Price increases. If you're having a price increase, just make sure your teams have the talking points as to why you're doing a price increase. So when they're in front of the customer or they're on the phone with that customer, they can explain where the price increase is coming from. And even if they have to maybe meet halfway, if Mrs. Jones saying $5 is too much of an increase, meet them halfway. Mrs. Jones, I understand. How about we do $2? And just so you're not adjusting it off, you're meeting Mrs. Jones halfway. So these are really good opportunities for training with not only your administrative staff, but your service professionals as well. And I cannot stress the importance of communication. Communication should never stop. It's constantly. It's between your field team, your administrative team, your management team, your customers. The constant communication and having the opportunity, whether it's in your software or your service professional can see your notes, just having the right documentation. What are they going out to the house for? Is this a callback? What is the reoccurring problem? Just making sure that they have the tools to be successful with communication, and the office administrative and everybody else is on the same page, as well as the customer. And then, of course, I have on here being late to appointments. To me, that goes with no-show and scheduling. Same line. Just make sure that we're given the courtesy of your consumer, your customer, the opportunity to know, hey, they're running behind and they can adjust their schedule as well. So be the best. Consumers will remember that. They remember you. They're your word of mouth. We have to be on point at all times with our customer experience. Customers not only demand that, they deserve that. Think of yourself as being that consumer, and then you realize how important it is for customer service and customer experience. And that starts with the time of sale, and it never ends. You're constantly being the best at all times, and empowering your team to be the best, and being able to fix any kind of issues or concerns when they're with the customers is very important. When I talk about empowering your team, for example, if somebody is just struggling with making their payment, does your team know that they can go down a little bit on price? Maybe if it's $2 or $3, are they empowered to be able to help Mrs. Jones at the time, or she happened to wait to have a call back? There's just so much to do with empowering your team to be the best they can be. That most times, like with us, our team is empowered to make their own schedule, and scheduling their service professionals or their customers with their service professionals. We allow them the opportunity to schedule, and we allow them the opportunity to really communicate with their customers, as well as the administrative team as well. Can they go down on a price, or can they escalate a problem? Just empowering them so the customer is not having to wait for somebody to answer that, or a call back, or wait to talk to their service professional. It's important to be all on the same team. And we also empower our team to be creative for the office environment. When you're in a position where you're answering customer service and you're helping your customer service be the best they can be, it's also important for them to have fun doing it, because that's what keeps the energy going. And I always tell my team that once you answer that phone, your voice should go up 2 notches. Bring it up. They should feel that enthusiasm and excitement with every interaction with customer service. It's really hard to kill them with kindness. Something that I do with my team is I have a check-in time, whether it's your service professionals in the field needing to check in with your team. I use a method called 10, 12, 2, and 4, and that's used in multiple different areas. It's me checking in on my team. How's it going today? Do you need anything from me? It's office managers. Hey, how is it going? How are we doing on calls today? How are we doing on scheduling? Is there anything that I can do to help you? That's engaging with your team, but it's also doing touch points with your team as well. How are they doing today? Are they in their wheelhouse and it's their time to shine with their day spa? wait, maybe they're wearing their emotions on their sleeve, and that could be a challenge as well, because if somebody's distracted, that's going to affect your customer experience as well. So I use this method for many different things: checking schedules, making sure that everybody has a good schedule for the next day, and just communication. So I have this on my wall as well, is at 10, 12, 2, and 4, I'm communicating with my team. And then celebration begins with connection. A culture of gratitude brings out the best in people. 67% of customers say they will pay more for a great experience. So are you putting the customers at the heart of your business? So seeing the world through a customer's eyes is very important. One thing that we did at Arrow a few years back is we implemented Listen 360, which is it's a platform. It's for our customers can give us feedback of how we're doing. Perception of how we think we're doing, we can have that all day long, but how is that being viewed by our customers? So this is a survey that is sent to our customers where they can give feedback. And we really had some work to do on this. When we first started seeing those surveys coming back, we needed to put the focus back on the customer experience. And now we're proud to say we have an 87% all smiley, happy faces from our customers. And it keeps us in tune with how our customers are viewing our services. And also 67% of customers say they will pay more. They will also talk to other people about your service. And your experience when it comes to word of mouth is going to go up. There's your marketing right there, is that great word of mouth. How can a service professional or our team members in the field go above and beyond? It's simple things. It's truly simple things. Bring up a trash can or a newspaper in the driveway if they still have them in certain areas. But check in with the family. It's important for us to know our customers and celebrate our customers. And our team members really, they value that as well. They have great relationships where they've been servicing generation over generation. And again, I can't stress that enough. Even simple thing is knowing their dog's name, or how's Johnny doing in baseball this year. So the simple things do matter. It makes it personal, and they have that connection with you. Something that's also very important is follow-up and thanking your customers. At every given sale opportunity, what we do at Arrow is we do a handwritten thank you card still to this day. That is so important to us to have those personal touches, and it really truly makes the difference with the customer. And of course, like I said, happy customers are the best marketing strategy. 92% of customers trust referrals from people they know and are 4 times more likely to buy if they trust you. So that's very important to really focus on your referral process within your organization. And providing the best customer experience, it starts with a simple smile. Whether you're answering the phone or you're in front of the customer, your customer should feel that you're very happy and you're there to help them in any way. It can be heard over the phone. And that's where I talk about go up a couple notches with your tone when you're answering the phone. It's also very important to have a consistent process in place. For example, with us, it's every customer, every time. Thank you for calling Arrow Exterminators. This is Mickey. How may I help you today? It's consistent every time with every team member that is answering the phone. That's important to keep that energy level up as well. And it's the expectation you're setting on your team members to provide that best customer experience. So you can say all the right words, but if the wrong tone is there, that changes the entire message. That's where I always go back to, you can kill them with kindness, with just your tone and your excitement enthusiasm to be able to help your customers. Focusing on positive words and phrases. Conversations with customers should include words that are relative to positive feelings. So for example, definitely, surely, absolutely. My favorite one personally is fantastic. I love the positive words, and that can turn a customer, a disgruntled customer, in a different direction when you're using positive words, and understanding as well. Positive phrases, I completely understand. I can definitely help you with that. I assure you, we most certainly will. Fantastic, I'm glad to help you. Those are all positive phrases, and they're a positive. So being empathetic is very important. Put yourself in their shoes and try to understand where they're coming from and why are they upset. If you have a customer calling in, they just want to be heard. So have the patience to hear them out, and patience is key. What I always do is I have a notebook in front of me that I'm writing down keywords whenever I'm listening to a customer. And I repeat back to them those keywords to let them know that I'm listening to them. And be consistent. No matter what your mood is, you need to be consistent at all times and offer the same level of service. After all, customers are paying for that, and they have choices. And we have some dang good choices out there when it comes to our industry. Be knowledgeable. Your team should always be knowledgeable when answering the phones and providing that experience. Whether it's being state registered in the state where they're continuing their education. I'm a big believer in mentorship. To this day, I have a mentor in just about every category here at Arrow. My favorite mentorship is definitely our service professionals. If you're not tapping into the service professional mentorship, boy, I tell you, they're the ones on the front lines. They're the ones with the customers. They're the ones doing the service. So I always like to ask questions and talk to our service professionals. I'm a big believer that your administrative team should do ride-alongs. They should experience the same service that your service professionals are given. They'll have an understanding of each person's role. Whether it's your service professional shadowing your administrative or your administrative shadowing your service professionals, what better way to get great knowledge than just being with the team that is actually the expert in their field. I love to ride with service professionals because they really like to talk about what they do. And you just are able to it's like a sponge. I get a majority of my knowledge is from the experience of the team that's actually in the field. Can't express the importance of listening to the customer's needs and respond as necessary, and avoid multitasking when you're talking to customers as well. They know that's happening. They also know they're being rushed. They also can know if they're being heard. One thing that I really like to do, if a customer is upset, I try to solve their problem, but I also put in a follow-up task for myself to follow up the next day to just reassure everything's okay and make sure that I was able to help with all of their needs. Listening is probably the biggest key factor in customer experience with your administrative team as well. You can repeat phrases from a customer's comment or complaint. You are doing two important things when you're repeating. You make them feel heard and you make them feel understood. You clarify what was said and you don't make any mistakes when you write things down and you're listening. Over the phone, customers' communication may seem rushed, confused, drawn out, but summarize what they have and show that you're listening and care. That's huge for us, as we want to make sure our team is really taking the time to talk to our customers and really giving that 100% attention to the need of the customer at the time. Focus on framing your response with positive. Each time you say no, a customer, you're sending a message you don't want to help. So offer a solution. When you can't provide what your customer wants, find the closest alternative. So for example, if Mrs. Jones needs you to come out on Tuesday at 10, but you're not available till Tuesday at 12 or 1, give them that alternative right away. Mrs. Jones, I'm sorry, we're unavailable at this time. However, we can come out at 12 or 1. You're giving them that choice, and you're giving them an alternative to what their request is. And instead of saying we can't, focus on what we can and provide a dedicated explanation. Words are free. It's how you use them, and that may cost you if it's not used correctly. So turning a disgruntled customer, you know, it's just all about the smile over the phone or in person and just really showing you care. That's truly what it comes down to with consumers. They want to be valued and they want to be heard. And consumers now more than ever, they know what protects their home, and they understand the need for pest control service, termite service. Now more than ever, we've been home in many cases through COVID, and I know I'm a big one. If I'm home, I'm ripping down a wall or painting something or starting a new project, and you always find areas that you really need maybe a little bit of attention on. Windows were a big part for me, ripping out windows, knowing that I had some damage from moisture. So yes, I'm going to rely on my resources, but I know how important those resources are as well. And I also know the value that it's putting on my home. And consumers are more engaged with their investment on their home than ever. So you can turn a disgruntled customer from lemons to lemonade by just adding a little bit of sugar and water. Always have that smile and always know that you care and that you're there to hear them and help them. At the onset of your call or conversation, always focus on how you can be of service. Don't always assume that there's a problem to begin with. And that's common. Usually when you have high volumes of calls, you kind of have a tendency to say, "Ooh, this is going to be a complaint call." Just know that sometimes it's just a customer letting us know what a great job we're doing. We put a big value on that here at Arrow. We have data boys, and we let our service professionals know, "Hey, Mrs. Jones was super excited that you really took the time to explain a problem or an issue with them, and they really wanted to call and say thank you." Let those service professionals, your administrative team, let them know. That's a big deal, and everybody needs that pat on the back, and that motivates team members to do their best at all times. So solving customer complaints is a lot like putting out fires. It's reactive, and no matter how good your product or service is, it can almost be impossible to avoid customer complaints or requests to cancel. Something that's really important that when I'm teaching is when a customer calls to cancel, you should automatically put in the back of your head, "Why are you firing me? What can I do better to keep you as a customer?" Those are very important tools. And if your entire team is on board with retention and they take it personal if somebody's canceling, asking those right questions to a customer that is canceling, it's very important. So listen and understand, acknowledge the complaint and apologize as appropriate, and inform the customer that you are taking action and provide solutions. If it's just Mrs. Jones has had callbacks over and over and it really don't seem like her problem's getting solved, a manager should be going out, or a trainer or technical, somebody on your team that is a little bit higher up in the management team should really go out of their way to make sure that those problems are being solved and resolve complaints. But more so, make sure your team that's answering those complaints be knowledgeable and asking the right questions. You want to always follow up with the customer to make sure they are satisfied and you're exceeding their expectations. So how do we practice effective listening? Be attentive and turn into the customer. Be that customer, be that consumer. That really puts the value in the focus. If you were sitting in that seat, how would you feel? And I'll just give you a little personal example of that. I recently just put new carpet in my house, and I was super excited. I was getting white carpet, and I had waited 8 months for my carpet. And the day finally came, which was on a long weekend, coming off a long weekend. So I had company all weekend long, and I'm like, okay, guys, time to go. My carpet's coming. I have to break down all of the beds and furniture. Well, that next day, nobody showed up. And that was like look, you're not valuing my time. I called the company and they said, sorry, Mrs. Thomas, but we're going to have to reschedule you. Okay, are you coming tomorrow? I've been waiting a long time for this. And they said, no, we're going to come out in 2 weeks from Tuesday. And I'm like, what? 2 weeks from Tuesday? I just waited 8 months. Well, that 2 weeks from Tuesday, I'm at the door waiting for my carpet, and guess what? Nobody showed up again. Well, at that point, that's when the redhead came out in me, and I'm calling the company, and I'm asking for the manager, and he said, let me find out what's going on. And 30 minutes later, he called me back and he said, Mrs. Thomas, I am so sorry. When your carpet came in 2 weeks ago, it had a black stripe down the middle of your white carpet, so we had to expedite an order to replace that. How easy would that have been if they would have explained that to me 2 weeks before that? So the communication was way off, and it put a bad taste in my mouth of, wow, you really don't value my time. And so putting yourself in the shoes, you don't want your consumers to experience and your customers to experience that bad communication. So putting yourself in the shoes of a customer, extremely important, because you look at it in a whole different light. When you are talking to a customer, don't interrupt or assume you know where the conversation is going. Again, I can't stress it enough to put yourself in their place. And don't simply listen to the words, listen to the tone of voice. Listen for underlying emotions, and listen for what's not being said. Sometimes we just have to read between the lines, and if needed, ask more questions and get a clearer understanding of what the customer's needs are. Be prompt and reliable, be involved and follow up. Create yourself tasks. No matter what system you have, you should always have some sort of way where you can create a task, whether it's for management, whether it's for administrative staff, or even your service professionals. Tasks are a great reminder to follow back up with customers. And reviewing notes before calling accounts is really important, because you're already one step and you know the history of that customer and any issues that they might have had. A customer complaint, it really truly don't have to escalate. Take responsibility and control the situation. You just have to learn to hear the difference between a customer who is upset or angry, disappointed, dissatisfied, or confused. So how can this all be done? Simply by listening to your customers. Make it apparent to the customer that you want to save an account. Don't be afraid to ask questions and relate and show your concern. How long has the customer been with us is a big one to ask. If you have a long-term customer, you definitely want to make sure you know why they're leaving you and what has changed in their service. Maybe they got a new service professional. Maybe they just need a little bit of guidance on that relationship. Or is it a financial concern? Could the situation change before the next time their services do? Can we make a payment plan if that works? Has a price increase been reduced maybe? Just looking at every avenue. A big one that stands out for me with price reduction would be, for example, an elderly lady on a fixed income that's been your customer for 20 years. Going out of the way to let them know you care and you're there to help them. It's a huge step. So positive customer feedback is good for morale. It keeps you going and it highlights what you're doing right. So when things go wrong, people will complain. Use complaints as a positive opportunity to improve services and the overall customer experience. If you have a complaint, make a training opportunity out of it. Negative customer feedbacks are the must-haves to grow. They let you know what went wrong and what made a customer upset and where the opportunity is to improve our services and create that great customer experience. Areas of service improvement is an opportunity, identifying areas for policy and protocols improvement, improve customer communication, and identify training opportunities, all come from a complaint call. So having that fundamental knowledge to navigate gracefully through the conversation, having the continued knowledge to be able to offer visible solutions is key. And what fundamental knowledge does your team member need to succeed and handle phone calls is a strong foundation to creating long-term success. So do you have the training in place to provide? One thing that we are really strong on is a new employee should not be answering the phone the first few days, because once you pick that phone up to help a customer, you have to be very knowledgeable. You have to be very patient. You have to know how to read certain services, codes, any kind of experience in the industry, or even just reading your software. They got to be able to have the tools to be successful in their roles. And are you continuing to build their knowledge by giving them the steps to succeed and offer great training? Again, I can't stress enough, the big foundation is mentors, and having mentors in every level and every position within your organization. And there are so many quick and easy team building activities you can do to keep the morale and everybody engaged. Something fun that we like to do is do a quick trivia of the day or a scavenger hunt in the office. We always look for areas that we can have team building to just build those relationships amongst our teams and keep them engaged with each other and on that family feel at all times. So again, to final it all up, knowledge is power. We all know the importance of water in our everyday life. The same thing goes with knowledge and providing your team with the knowledge they need to succeed. So again, it's all about having that smile on your face and really just being there to help your team and being empathetic to your customers. And that is pretty much where I am going to end it, Courtney, and I will stop sharing my screen here.
Thank you so much, Mickey. We're going to open it up to some questions. We did have one that was put in the chat box. Is there any additional training that you would recommend for office staff?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest one is those ride-alongs, and continuing to develop those knowledge outside. But also, it really truly, where are they struggling, or where would they need that training? We have mentors where they sit with other administrative staff, or a service professional with a mentor to another service professional. But there's also a lot of tools in the MPMA's toolbox as well for small businesses, and those training opportunities. They're right there at your fingertips, that can be utilized as well.
As far as the 360 feedback that you do, how often are you sending that out to your customers?
Great question. We usually do it quarterly, or after the service, every other service. So we're constantly sending them out, but based on the customer service frequency, we try to go every other service on that.
Do you have any books or podcasts that you would recommend on this subject that would be beneficial?
Yes. I'm more of that. I like the leadership ones, but I think everybody can benefit. My favorite one is the Traction book. And then also industry podcasts. You have so many good industry podcasts out there that are from technical to customer service, that there's a whole wide range of knowledge out there, just in our industry for podcasts.
Does anyone else have any questions for Mickey? You can feel free to unmute yourself. Going once, going twice. Well, Mickey, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, and to everyone who joined us today. If you'd like to be added to our mailing list, please email Kelly Altland directly. She's going to drop her email address in the chat box. We're also planning on doing an in-person event this fall, so stay tuned for that. If you have any suggestions for trainings, webinars, or any other fun events, please let us know. We're always open to suggestions. And if you can please follow us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Kelly just put the link in for our YouTube channel. This has been recorded and will be uploaded in case you want to use this in your office. And you can stay up to date on all of our events. It should be posted in about 24 hours. I'll give Kelly a little bit of time on that one. But thank you again. This was fantastic, and definitely a wonderful subject for, I think, a segment of our industry that is sometimes neglected a little bit. So customer service is always so important. So thank you again, Mickey. We really appreciate it. And thank you guys for attending. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.